What up, gang? Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're gonna be talking about why I stopped being a fitness coach. The things that I realized that eventually led me to shutting down my fitness coaching business. And I wanna talk about this because I think it's actually gonna relate to a lot of people, regardless of if you've ever even considered being a coach or a fitness coach. It doesn't really matter, because a lot of the questions that I asked myself, a lot of the realizations that I had that ultimately led me to this decision, I think you can apply to pretty much any area of your life or any career, income making opportunity, business or whatever, to maybe kind of decide if it's right for you. And ultimately, I'm not telling you what to do, what not to do. I'm not telling you whether to go down a certain path, or even whether my decision was right, but it feels like something that was right for me. I feel way more in alignment now with where I'm at. So maybe this will be valuable to you. So for those of you that don't know, super quick story time. I ran a fitness coaching business from basically the end of 2023 all the way to like August, September of last year, of 2024. So around like 10-ish, 11 months. And basically what I realized was I was only doing it because it was like a means to an end, right? I think a lot of people get into like coaching and helping people and, helping people transform to get from A to B because they like genuinely love helping people. That's what like fires them up, and they just like want to help as many people as they can, and like that's their mission and whatever. And like that's great. That wasn't me. I didn't really care so much, just to be totally transparent. Like I didn't really care so much about transforming lives. While that was cool and I like got a little bit of enjoyment out of that, like that wasn't really my big driver. Like for me, I saw fitness coaching, online fitness coaching, as a means to an end. This was a vehicle that would ultimately get me the freedom, time, location freedom, and finances that I wanted to like live the lifestyle that I wanted. And what I realized was that that's kind of a dumb thing to think about, because it's not to say that you can't do things just because they're a means to an end. I think there's a lot of examples of that. But like, because I was struggling a lot in the business and it wasn't like just wildly successful, I was like, wait, if all I'm doing this for is because it's a means to an end, there's a lot of other better means to get the end that I want. Like there's a lot of ways to make money and to have time freedom and location freedom and stuff like that are probably better suited for you and easier than the fitness coaching. So that was like the biggest kind of takeaway, the first point there. The other thing is like I wasn't great at running the business. Now you can say, oh dude, you didn't even do it for a year. You got to do it for longer. Totally. Like I would have gotten better. I would have learned a lot. I probably would have been able to make it more successful than it was had I stuck with it. But ultimately, there was a big skill gap, and I was like doing everything alone. The business wasn't making enough money to the point where I had resources and finances to like invest in like getting help, hiring the right employees, etc. So that made it more difficult. And when I say like I wasn't great at it, I just mean that like I think there's a lot of people that kind of have like a natural ability for like running businesses. Well, I mean, not that it's not like you're born with it. A lot of people have a knack for like gaining skills and can, operate really well under intense amounts of stress and are just like really good at like sitting down and grinding and staring at the computer for hours and hours and hours on end. And like they actually like it and get into that flow of just like being in like super deep work states on running a business. I personally like didn't like that. I didn't jive with it. I wasn't great at that. And I think a big part of that is like I just didn't enjoy the work. I didn't enjoy being crunched over my computer, building sales funnels, writing out the marketing, like filming the ads and putting them into Ads Manager, and then like I just didn't enjoy the work. And I think there's a time and a place for doing things that you don't like, because it's going to get you to the next level, because maybe it is a means to an end. It's just like, I'm just doing this, which I don't like, to provide for my family or to put food on the table or to get the dreams and the lifestyle and the things that I want. Like I get that, but I think if you're gonna like pour your heart and soul into something and make it like a multiple year process and all that stuff, it's like, you should like what you do. Also, in terms of competition, which fitness coaching was a highly, highly competitive thing, I'm gonna lose to the competitor of mine who like loves what he does, right? Like I don't like what I'm doing, and therefore like I'm probably not nearly as good at it as someone that loves what they're doing and just like that is their fucking thing, right? Another big piece, which I'm sure all my haters will be like, hell yeah, when I say this, like, right? But like, look, I look good with my shirt off. I've put a lot of work in over the years on my fitness, but like, I don't have that great of physique. Like, let's be honest. Like, I'm not the fucking fitness competitor. I'm not like the fitness model. I'm not the fucking, six pack on the beach in board shorts looking like fresh out of a cologne advertisement. Like, I'm just not. Like, I'm just being honest with myself. I've got a great physique. I look great. I've worked hard, but I don't have like, number one, I don't think I have like the superior genetics. It's just like drop dead, holy shit, when that guy takes his shirt off, it's like, what the hell? I'm also not doing like a bunch of steroids and stuff to where like I just have this insane like fitness compete. And like the thing is, a lot of the competitors in the space and a lot of the people who are like crushing it in the fitness industry do look like that, do have the genetics, or like fitness was so much their thing for so long and they so loved it to the end of they went to the end of the earth with it that like they just built that physique and that was like everything for them. Fitness coaching, fitness in general is a passion of mine and I love it, but I just don't think it was there where it really needed to be. And because of that, I lacked authority. And without that authority and credibility, it was difficult to get people to trust me and to want to like pay me for fitness coaching, right? Like if I'm in the health space, I'm going up against people that have PhDs who are like super highly educated, or maybe they're like scientists or researchers or whatever. Or then on the fitness coaching side, I'm going against people who are professional bodybuilders, who are on a ton of steroids, who look way fucking better than me, that like their physique alone can like go viral on social media and shit like that. So it's just like, I feel like I was kind of really fighting an uphill battle that I didn't really want to admit for a long time, whether it was like ego-based or whether I was just truly blind to it, but finally like reflected on that. So I would encourage you to think about like for you, like kind of think about, are you in a position to win? Like, do you have the authority? Do you fit the part? Do you walk the walk, talk the talk that you need to like really, really crush it in that? And then the last thing, which kind of goes on my point, my last point, is I just didn't feel like fitness coaching, being the healthy guy, like to the end of the earth, I didn't feel like that was my unique zone of genius. I love this word, and I would encourage you to think about this more. Like, what's your unique zone of genius? What is that thing that like you're probably better at than like anybody naturally, just because like you have that God-given talent, you have that natural knack for it, that ability, or just like that obsessive nature about that thing because you just love it, And again, like fitness was probably like an 8.5 out of 10 for me, but like I don't like it. I think it needs to be a 10. Like if you're going to go to the end of the earth with something, like it should be something where again, you're in a position to win, right? Like if I have all these different like hobbies, niches, interests, whatever, and I think about how much do they just absolutely speak to my core that I'm naturally gifted at, that I just like, I have a leg up like compared to most people. If I think about that, fitness was like up there. I don't think it's like my top thing. And if I'm thinking of all these different industries and passions and whatever, if something's like a 7 out of 10 on that scale, I don't really want to go all in on it. You know what I mean? I just don't know. Maybe that's a limiting belief. Maybe I'm thinking the wrong thing there. But I think of like a couple examples. Okay, let's use the Tiger Woods example for anyone that's been living under a rock. Tiger Woods, one of the greatest golfers in the history of the game. And it was pretty obvious from the moment he probably stepped on a golf course and had clubs in his hand, like he had a natural ability. Like he was just genuinely talented, genuinely interested, loved the game of golf. And like that is how most of the greats of any sport is born. It's like that simultaneously mixture of like naturally really fucking good at it, naturally just loves it, is obsessed, and then like has incredible work ethic on top of that, right? And if you think about that, that's like a 10 out of 10. Like Tiger Woods, golf is like his unique zone of genius. And it's probably been that way since he was 3 years old, or the first time that he like had a golf club in his hand, So it like makes sense. He's not gonna go all in on basketball or driving race cars or something else, because like that's just not his unique zone of genius. Maybe he's decent at it. Again, maybe he's like a 7 out of 10. But if golf is a 10 out of 10, why would he not dedicate his everything in his life and his business, his career, and his mission to golf, because that's a 10 out of 10, right? Same thing if I think of like, if you think about unique zone of genius, where do you thrive? Where do you come alive? Where are you naturally gifted? If you think about a stand-up comedian, for example, right? Stand-up comedian, entertainment guy, probably not the healthiest, probably goes out a lot and eats, not the best food, drinks a lot, maybe smokes a cigarette here and there, but like he can just make you fucking laugh. Like he is just hilarious. He's for the boys, as they say, or whatever, for the boys and girls. He's hilarious. If you were to take that man and you were to pluck him from his environment and just throw him in a tech startup business into the CEO seat and be like, stand-up comedian, you are now a CEO of a big tech startup, he would fuck it up. He would completely flop. Like, business isn't his thing. Entertaining and making people laugh is his thing. It's probably always been that way. That stand-up comedian was probably a class clown. He's probably always good at socializing. He's probably never really that afraid of like standing up in front of crowds and being a leader in social situations and stuff like that. But like, he was never good at math. He was never good at like, the shit that you would need to like start a business. He probably hated sitting in front of a computer or a laptop for hours and hours on end doing like boring, monotonous tasks. Whereas like the finance guy or like the nerdy kid or the whatever kid like didn't actually mind doing that. So it's like, do you see where I'm going with this? Where it's like, I want to find my unique zone of genius and go all in on that. And I don't think that fitness coaching was that for me. And again, to make this more relevant to you, because maybe you're not considering being a coach of any kind or a fitness coach, like, are you operating in your unique zone of genius? Are you trying to climb an uphill battle? Or is everything downhill because you love what you do, you're naturally good at it, and that's just your freaking thing? So anyways, that's my thoughts on it. Let me know if you had any interesting takeaways. Let me know if you disagree heavily with anything that I say. And yeah, welcome to it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers.